everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of White Line Fever Live, and we're actually at the Intercontinental. Geez, I look very untidy, don't I? We're at the Intercontinental in Park Lane in London, and my guest this week is Ade Adebisi from the Nigeria Rugby League. How are you, Ade?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
It's good to meet you. Now, we've been talking before on air about some things that you're doing, and some of the things we can talk about to the public, and others we can't.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's no big announcements tonight, are there?
No. Yeah, no. Apart from the kit, there's kit announcement.
All right, yeah.
With Beastwear.
All right, so you've done a kit deal with Beastwear, which is an Australian company, and they're getting out and about. They did the Albania kit, I believe. They actually. I went to the International Federation. I can take my glasses off because I don't have to. I went to the International Federation meeting up in York, and they actually outfitted all delegates. So, and they did a lot of countries at the
Emerging Nations.
Yeah. So, I guess a lot of the people watching, if there's anyone, there's a few people watching, and hopefully more on replay. I don't look as messy because with my eyesight being as blurry, I look much better. They probably don't know much about your story and about the story of Nigeria Rugby League, but it isn't a new thing, Rugby League in Nigeria, is it?
No. Obviously, we had a guy start it about 5 years ago, and obviously he wasn't doing much, and then so when I got injured from rugby, and I decided, what do I do? But I was obviously working as well at the time, so I went to Nigeria, and was working for my grandma, and she passed away, and then obviously that went bad. I was going to move back to the UK, and then I spoke to Martin. In fact, I already moved back to the UK, and I spoke to Martin while I was in the UK, and he said, he wouldn't mind starting up rugby league. So I obviously took the chance, and then moved back, and just working at it for 2 years, and then things are just finally been all approved. So this is not just something that has just been approved, as maybe the Rugby League Europe, I know, confirmed us last week, last month, sorry, but we've been at this for so long, way longer than that, and I'm just glad we got it over the line. So I'm just really positive for Nigerian rugby.
Now, before we ask the next question, if anyone who is watching, tell us what the sound is like, because will I be able to harvest this sound for an audio podcast, or is it too quiet? I don't know. But anyway, and please ask Ade questions if you've got any questions. Graham Wright says, good hairstyle. I'm sure he's not talking about mine. He must be talking about yours. Now, there's two parts of this story from a journalist's point of view. One is your personal story and the illness that you battled your entire career, and I'm sure you don't want to big up yourself by talking about it too much. But if it was me, I'd talk about it all the time. But can you just tell the viewers and listeners, hopefully there's some listeners, hopefully we're loud enough so people can hear us as well, what the condition was and how it made your career more difficult?
The condition is called sickle cell, and it's a blood disorder. And basically, I can't carry enough oxygen around my bloodstream. So, what takes a player maybe 30 seconds to recover, probably take me about 2 minutes. And obviously in rugby, that's a long time. But it was just a lot of hard work, and I think it was down to rugby at an early age, when it was all about mental toughness, not breaking, and things like that. And I think I remember when I was at Broncos Academy when we started, and there was our fitness coach called Oggy. He was the first person that sort of taught us mental toughness, and then that stuck. And obviously getting graduate, and obviously when we went to first team, and but some coaches didn't understand the condition. They just thought maybe I was unfit. Obviously in a training session where you're just doing continuous running, it's not that I'm unfit. It's not possible for me to get the oxygen around my body quick enough with what we have to do. So, and it is a life-threatening disease. People die from it. There's a lot of people that die from it without care. But I guess I've just been lucky and I just put it down to rugby league and having that frame of mind to push through. So it's like I think there's an interview coming out. I did a report with Ash Hope, I think his name is. Yeah. So he called me and we did a good long spread about Nigeria and about my career path and everything. So that goes into more details about how hard it was for me, but it was hard. I know, like, especially as well when I was young, a lot of the players, maybe the older players that didn't understand, would just take the piss and then think, oh, you never make it and all that stuff, and it just it was obviously hard for me at that time, but I pushed through and.
But the thing that seems to me to be a little bit different, what you're doing to some other countries, is how much traction you're getting in Nigeria and the high part of society, and you're talking earlier about the music industry and stuff like that. So this is an unknown sport in Nigeria, but for some reason you're actually reaching, members of government and high profile entertainers. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, this is a new organization, but run by professionals, so like we have Martin Crawford, who just received an OBE for his work in Nigeria and within rugby and the community. So we have people like that, and we have Hamza Atta, who actually works within the government, the contractor, big company in Nigeria. We have obviously our chairman as well, who used to live in England, now working back in Nigeria, Abby Cole. Then we have Shego Benson, director of rugby.
Yep.
We have Yemisi. She lives in America. She's marketing director. So we have so many people. We have Greg working there as well as our media guy over in Nigeria. But we have, because Nigeria as a whole, it's a big, it's full of, it's big people, and then a lot of after we spoke about this actually over the phone when we had a comment, that when we first opened, people don't realize, they just paint everybody in the same brush, but they don't realize the caliber of people we actually have working with us. Like it's ridiculous to say, board of trustees, between them, there are powerful people, and all that, all those information will come out soon, about who they are and what they do, and it's just, we are trying to tap into the music industry in Nigeria, and then we know we have a lot of big stars, and sometimes it's not about just the rugby, it's about Nigeria as a whole and promoting the Nigerian brand, as you say. So but we're doing things a lot different than any other federation. We're just not, it's not just about rugby, because we know that people don't know much about rugby, and then to get people interested, you have to tap into other markets to give it exposure.
Yep.
And that's what we're just trying to do. We're doing well so far. And with the marketing, we have a good team. I'm always saying that. I think every interview I've had so far, always mention about the team, because it's all about the team. We can't do it ourselves, me and Martin. So Martin has assembled a good and strong backroom staff.
This is White Lion Fever Kicks, and we're talking to Ade from the Nigeria Rugby League. I'm now talking into my phone simply because I have no confidence that the Facebook Live is recording the sound to any great standard. So I thought I'd start talking to the phone. So what about matches? That's what everyone wants to know. I know last time I spoke to you, you weren't sure when you're going to be playing games.
Yeah.
So if you just joined us, we've talked about how Nigeria is a little bit different as far as the drill down they've got and the traction they're getting in Nigeria and how ambitious they are, and also, I guess, the players. So when are you going to play a game, and what sort of players are you going to be drawing on?
Yep, so the plan is we'll have our first game in October. We're not sure where. I think we're going to be playing in the MEA, the new MEA. I know the Rugby League International released and the competition will be going ahead this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously that will be a process for us to get into the World Cup as well. And, we're attracting some good players, especially in Australia. We have Jaden in Australia who plays for the Bulldogs. And then, we have players like Rob Warranty, Will Sharp, and there's a few others. And there's a guy that plays for London Broncos. We haven't physically spoken to him, but I know he'll be interested. He's already, through other people, said he's interested. And we have championship players, same as Jamaica. But obviously I reckon we probably have a bigger field, a bigger pool of players to pick from, and but we're not sure where it's going to be hosted. But obviously, once we know, it's definitely going to be in October. We'll play our first competition so we don't know who's going to be in it, but I can say that we will. We've put our hands up. That we'll definitely want to play in that competition, and it's going to be good. Yeah.
What's the plan? What's the ultimate goal, Ade? Is to play in the World Cup? I mean, Jamaica say there's 800,000 people of Jamaican descent in this country. I believe. There's even more Nigerian.
Yeah. I think there's like 3 million. There's like 3 million in I think maybe 2 million in London on its own. So there's quite a lot of. If we can do things right, we can attract, and if we can get a game in the UK, as like what Jamaica will be doing, we'll do well. We'll do well. Here's the head coach.
Oh, hey mate, Steve, how are you? We just got this. So we're doing this Facebook Live, and we, a couple of people. Well, see, this is kind of weird, isn't it? Because it looks, it's counterintuitive. Because I've got to move that way on the screen. Yeah. So so we're joined now by Joe Mbu, the coach. Joe, how did you come to be involved in this project?
Yes, I've known Ade for a long time. Played with and coached Ade at various stages through Broncos, helped out with the academy, and at London Scholars. So Ade and I have always been in contact. We've built up a friendship over the years, and I've been part of this from the start.
And your background's also Nigerian. Did you ever think? No, it's not.
No, it's not. My background is Central African, from Congo.
Right.
So I was born there, and I migrated when I was 9 to the UK.
All right. Did you always think that down the track this might happen, that the sort of African countries would have their own teams, or did you think it would not happen in your lifetime?
No, I think it's a natural progression. If you look at within different various sports, there are a lot of African players of origin that play in Europe or different parts of the world. So it's a natural progression that will happen at some stage. As you said, when it would have happened, it's a surprise to all of us. But Ade is an ambitious person, an ambitious man, and therefore it's not surprised that this has come to pass, really.
We've got too many people here. Martin Crawford, who's the mastermind behind all this, has just walked in.
I think when he comes, I'll probably step up for him.
Yeah,
he's a good-looking lad, so let's get his face in.
Joe, what's the process of identifying players and getting them on board?
Just looking around through the leagues, contacting the governing bodies in different various parts of the world, like in France and England and Australia and even New Zealand, just identifying what players they've got there that could qualify to play for Nigeria. That's a step. Also, through contacts that we have, Ade and I have built up a network of contacts for players, for agents and for coaches, and that's how really we're going to attack that process.
Have you thought about how, I don't know, have you have philosophy for coaching at representative level? What sort of style of footy are you going to play?
It's pretty much play what you see, really. No, it's for me. It's more so about players. The philosophy is behind the players. It's about having the right people to work with and having a mindset that there's no can't do. So that's the mindset that we're going to have and we're going to drive through. So in terms of philosophy, that's going to come as a team, develops and looks for culture within the team.
And have you got how much time are you devoting to this project, Joe, at the moment? Like, how much time will you be devoting over the next sort of year and a bit?
As much time as time will allow me to devote, if that's an answer. Currently, I work in a school, East London Science School in East London, and they're very supportive of what Nigeria are doing at the current time, and they're very supportive of me to do what I can within coaching and within my time as well. So it's just whatever time I've got spare, I commit to that and so on. But in terms of different things, we just have to wait and see how things develop and build up.
Yeah, we are actually planning for Joe to go to Nigeria next month.
Okay.
And maybe first or second week in February. So he will go there, see the pool of potential local players we have. Obviously, I know we're getting players, from Australia, France, and England. But obviously, we have to remember it's all about grassroots as well. So we're not just gonna make it all about the internationals. We have to put in, the local players, so they know that it's not just gonna be if there's a competition, they're not just gonna be it's just gonna be the international players. So we need to build a better relationships. I think we was talking about it, with other countries where other countries went wrong and just left out the local players. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna, we're gonna build within and then all work together.
Now we might have. Well done, Joe. After years of dedication to the sport, a role well deserved, says Jody Freeman. Do you know Jody?
I know Jody Freeman. Appreciate that. Yes. So, like anything in life, you just keep pushing along, and whenever you think sports or rugby's done with you, but rugby's not quite done with you, there's always something new and there's always something different for you to come in and get involved in.
Ade, how can people help what you're doing, and what can people look forward to in the coming weeks and months and years? What can I focus on?
We have a couple of news coming up. Next by the end of January, people will know what we're about. We just need promotion, really. We just need people to be supportive and not to be negative about what we're trying to do. Like I said, we have we've masterminded not me, Martin, mastermind a good backroom staff around us, and let us do work first before people start judging, and then once we prove people wrong, and people will realise what we're here for a good reason, and it's just about the rugby, and we just want support, really. Obviously, once we know where we're going to be playing, because then we're going to work on with me, Martin, Joe, we need to sit down after this. Actually, we're gonna, because this is the first time we're all getting together. It's just me and Joe. We're meeting up. So Martin has been very busy. So once we have like a meeting, we'll know more, and then we'll put we should go through our social media as well. We're gonna put a lot of news through our social media coming soon. So. Yeah.
Maybe, Martin, do you want to come around here for 1 minute? You might be a bit camera shy. So this is Martin Crawford who's coming around now.
Yeah.
This is it's kind of it's not the most it doesn't look like a TV studio. It wouldn't be mistaken for the BBC. But Martin, just quickly, could you just run through how all this started from your perspective, and what your background is? You've been out in Nigeria for 30 years, and where you see this going. I guess it's about 6 questions in one, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's when I met Ade. That's when we've got a youth program running. I live in the north of Nigeria. Let me back. up a bit. So I started a youth program. We've got about nearly 2,000 kids playing rugby now.
Oh, wow.
So when Ade came along, with Ade's connections with League, we saw the opportunity to, get Nigeria going on the international stage. Obviously, I'm well aware at the beginning it's going to be overseas-based players, because that's where the expertise and the talent is at the moment. But we've got 2,000 kids playing. Who knows, if we can get 4,000, 8,000, 16,000, then we can connect the dots from grassroots all the way up to elite level rugby. So Rugby League International Federation have just created the Middle East Africa zone. So it seems African rugby is growing, and we hope to be a part of that and grow with the MEA region in league, and just keep on doing what we're doing. There's 180 million Nigerians, so you can imagine the potential sporting talent. So, but potential is just that; it needs to be developed. So obviously, there's the technical side. Obviously, it's great to have Joe along as a coach, and we're going to bring him down to Nigeria and meet our current crop of domestic players, and give us a bit of feedback as to where they need to go in order to become useful, at elite level, and then just grow the sport. So we've come a long way very quickly. We have there's a number of benchmarks. We're in contact with the guys in Jamaica. And amazingly, they just qualified for the World Cup. So as far as we're concerned, I love Jamaica. I've got a lot of friends out there, and to see what they've done, then that's a role model for us. So man, if we can sit back in 4-8 years' time and say, hey, we just qualified for the World Cup, we'll be happy guys.
Is rugby union a big sport in Nigeria?
Rugby is a tiny sport. Football is the big beast, because Nigeria, although there's 180 million people, the money that's in soccer, the Premier League, all of that kind of thing, everybody just goes down that path in terms of dreams and aspirations. But once introduced to rugby, both codes. League is smaller than union, if that's possible. But the potential, to get back to that word again, is huge, of course. And all the people we've exposed to rugby, we're even working out in some villages and rural areas like that. The uptake is universal. Everybody the whole athletic part of it, the camaraderie, the team ethos, all that kind of stuff. The buy-in is instant and 100%. We certainly don't get people going, a contact sport looks a bit rough for me. Everybody just loves it. I've kind of it took me a while, but I kind of concluded that in a country where there's 180 million people and opportunities are scarce, there's not much room for a timid guy. Everybody's committed, and everybody grabs any opportunity, any kind of anything that comes their way. So the commitment's incredible. So we just need to, in terms of making waves internationally, we just need to uncover those kind of 1 in 1,000 athletes, equip them with the technical expertise, and see what these guys can do with them at elite level.
Okay, I think we'll finish up with a bold prediction from the three of you about rugby league in Nigeria, and Martin gets the first dibs, so you can't obviously, you can't repeat his. So a bold prediction about rugby league in Nigeria from the three of you.
Well, if Jamaica can do it, we can do it. So World Cup qualification, not the next cycle, but the cycle after.
2029.
No.
Yeah.
It's too late for 2021, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the next cycle after that.
2025. Well, God knows where that it could be in Africa, the way things are going. Okay, your turn.
Well, my prediction will be that there will be some stage in the next, let's say, 5 years, a Nigerian Rugby League within the country, where there'll be a minimum of 10 teams that will competitively compete in order to give that international team a roster of players within the country that we can look to pick from.
Okay. Yeah. And your last.
Yeah, pretty ambitious for me. Obviously, as you know, the Rugby League International announced that the MEA will be going on this year. So for us, obviously, to enter for it and hopefully to get into the final, and obviously to show people it's not just football that Nigeria is good at. You know, we have good athletes, and then we know we can turn around into good rugby players.
Well, guys, I'm sure I don't think many people watching live because they didn't even know this was on, but there'll be a few people listening and watching, hopefully on replay, and I'm sure they all think that congratulate you on all the work you're doing. You're obviously not doing it for money, like a lot of people. You're doing it for the love of it. So congratulations and thanks for your time.
Yeah.